up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours, where we have some monumental topics to discuss. Firstly, it is now official and confirmed the #1 summer transfer target priority for Barcelona this summer is the Colombian in Liverpool, Luis Diaz. Both Hansi Flick and Deco have given the green light for this operation, and now it comes down to negotiation conditions of this deal. But if the club can sign any forward this summer, it would be Luis Diaz. Now, a position and probably a player as well in which the Barcelona fans want to sign is in the goalkeeper position, and it is Joan Garcia. We're going to discuss the goalkeeper market, who Barcelona will sign if we do go for one, and also the future of both Ter Stegen and Szczesny, which really isn't in the club's hands. Has some player sale updates as well on Valle, Pau Victor, Clement Lenglet. Some big future updates as well on Hector Fort, on Jofre Torrents as well. Big renewal updates, of course. Flick and Rafa's renewals have been official. We also have updates on Frenkie de Jong's and Lamine Yamal, and on top of that, Lamine Yamal gonna be getting the number 10 kit next season. And finally, a new member of the management board to work alongside Deco and Boyan this summer has been leaked, and we'll let you guys know who that is. So before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below, and let's try and get to 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. Also, if you are new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Now, the first topic we have of discussion is what Flick's transfer request is for this summer. Of course, we've been talking about the transfer plan over the past few days. It's quite evident: a forward, fullback, maybe potentially goalkeeper, striker. Those are kind of the reserve options. Now, Flick came out after the Villarreal game saying that I know what signings I want for this team, and I will talk to Deco about this because we need some time to discuss our options. So Flick already, before the season even ended, is already clear on what position he wants Deco to strengthen this summer. Following this, Ben Aid came out saying that Flick has asked the club to do its best to meet some needs in the transfer market. The German coach believes that certain reinforcements are necessary to perform with the same strength for next season. Again, teams will start finding you out. We're going to maybe have a bit of a dip because we performed at such a high level this past season. So reinforcements this summer will dictate and define how well we do next season and how far the sky limit really is. I'm very happy with the fact that Flick knows exactly what he wants. Maybe not players per se, but which positions he wants strengthening, who he wants out, who he wants in. I think knowing that even before the season ends is absolutely magnificent, because it just makes Deco's job easier, and also it already gives a basis on where to start those conversations. Again, there's supposed to be a meeting at some point next week between the two to discuss and finalize squad planning for this summer, and then we'll have to wait and see what these two cook up for Barcelona this summer. Now, the first thing that Deco is cooking up is not too good, bruv, in my opinion anyways, and that is on Luis Diaz. It has been confirmed by multiple media outlets over the past few days that Luis Diaz is in fact the #1 summer transfer priority. The news broke from Tony Juan Marti, who said that Luis Diaz is still Barcelona's top target and he wants to join, but his transfer remains difficult. He expects a serious offer and guaranteed registration. Neither is possible right now, though again, right now it is only May. We're really worried about this. Of course, the price that's being rumored is 80 million euros, which is kind of, his market value, and we were all hoping that maybe Flick saying no will pull this away from Deco. But according to Sport, Joaquin Pereira, he said that Flick has given his approval to sign Luis Diaz, which means that we're going to actually go for this. Now, there has been reports coming out saying that, look, Barcelona are not going to offer 80 million. Those numbers that the media are using are just his market value. If you go to transfer market, that is his value. Xavi Campos, who's very, very reliable, only speaks and gives reports a few times, said that Deco wants to pay a maximum of 60 million with bonuses for Luis Diaz. He does not want to spend more on him than what he spent on Olmo last summer. Finally, Tony Juan Marti came out saying that my opinion is that there is a better chance for Luis Diaz not to come than the other way around. Today, I see a more affordable options as more realistic, but it's true that summer is long and many things can happen, including interesting hypothetical sales. Here's, again, we said, what did I say last summer about Dani Olmo? Fantastic player, quality of Barcelona, price was right. I just didn't think we needed him. In the end, I was proved wrong on that front, but everything else was correct. With Luis Diaz, my issue is more than one thing. Number one, the price. If it's 80 million, have a day off. I'd rather put a bullet in my mouth than Barcelona spend 80 million on Luis Diaz. Now, 50 and 60 is kind of what I think is a really fair price for both parties. I think if Barcelona want to get a good deal, they wouldn't spend more than 50. I think 60 is best for, a good deal for Barca from their perspective. They really want Luis Diaz, and a good deal from Liverpool as well to sell him. My also issue is the profile. It's not a natural winger. Luis Diaz he plays, of course, on the left wing, but he's very, very similar to Raphinha. Cuts inside, finds space, doesn't really hold the width and use pace, go 1v1 like a Lamine Yamal kind of, player on the left. He does not do that. The reason why Barcelona love Luis Diaz is because he can play off the left and he can also play up front. That is the only reason why they're absolutely drooling over him. Third problem I have is his age. He's in his prime, 29, and you're looking at this team thinking that you want maybe a bit more longevity, especially for that price. If he's going for like 30 or 40, like, you know what, fair enough, go for it. But for this kind of price and for the age, just doesn't really match the valuation whatsoever. I'm not very, very keen on Luis Diaz. I'll be completely honest. I think a lot of the fan base does feel this way. I'm quite surprised that unfortunately Hansi Flick has given the green light. I don't know what Deco's obsession was with Luis Diaz. He's been obsessed with him for the past year and a half now. I don't get it. I don't see what we don't see. It just does not make sense to me whatsoever. Now, following the initial report from Tony Marti, he also came out saying that in an ideal world, Alexander Isak would be actually the number one priority, but he would cost the club a minimum of 120 million, especially more now if Newcastle qualify for Champions League football next season. Diaz's contract also runs out until 2027, which may be a reason why Barcelona has chosen to go for that player from their point of view. This also sums up for me why Barcelona are in regards to the front line, they're moving like morons. So what I just say to you, they want Luis Diaz because he can play on the left and up front. That is the exact same reason why they want Alexander Isak. Don't think we're going to sign Alexander Isak to put up front and then Lewandowski's getting, benched for the season. That's not going to be the case. If we could sign Alexander Isak today, they'd chuck him on the left wing. I am being 100% serious. They're going to chuck one of the best, at least top 5, easily top 10 strikers in the world on the left wing. I don't understand with Barcelona. I understand having versatility is so important for a squad, and we have so many versatile players. I think versatility is an added bonus on top of a player that you want to buy. It should not be the main factor, which is why I think Barcelona really, really do like Luis Diaz. Of course, Isak would be an absolute dream, but for that price, I think he's a bit too much. I think his valuation is probably like 90. Maybe if you want to put, bonus in there to 100 at the absolute most, so 120 is of course overvalued. A lot of Barcelona fans, of course, they want that winger is Nico Williams. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Barcelona have now closed the door to Nico Williams. Barcelona have several options for the left wing position. The entire Nico package is around 50 million euros plus salary, which has made it complicated for all the clubs in recent years to approach him. So we're willing to spend 80 on Luis Diaz, but Nico Williams for 50 apparently is too much. I am absolutely back. Of course, it says there plus salary. Even with his salary included, is nowhere near an 80 million, or let's say worst case scenario 70 million transfer for Luis Diaz. I'm absolutely baffled. I wouldn't say I'm fuming because I still think Luis Diaz is a good player. I just don't like the conditions and the reason why we're approaching him. But having a player like Nico Williams who fits exactly what we need like a glove, integration process will be nothing for him. He knows half the squad. He's Spanish, knows the league, knows the style of play, come up against it on 2 occasions this season. Of course, the age as well, 22 years old. Apparently now Real Madrid are going to go sign him. I'm absolutely baffled into why we're twerking for Luis Diaz. Of course, Nico doesn't want to come. That's fine. That's, of course, a different perspective. But the fact that he's open to it and we're twerking for Luis Diaz is absolutely baffling, in my opinion. But again, it's early days. The season has not even ended yet. We don't even know what our FFP salary margin is yet. So we'll calm up for now. But all I ask and all I wish is that we just don't overpay for Luis Diaz. If we pay more than 60 million euros for him, I will put a bullet in my mouth. So we'll see how things do turn out, but it's quite clear and quite evident. This is 100% a fact. Luis Diaz is the number 1 priority for Deco this summer to reinforce Barcelona's attack. Now, while the attacking reinforcement is quite a big hole in this team, I think the position right now that every single Barcelona fan wants the club to make a signing in is the goalkeeping position. Now, we've heard, of course, over the past few days, even my Goals TV video yesterday, that right now it's Ter Stegen and Szczesny. That's the plan. Unless Szczesny does not renew, we're not signing a goalkeeper. But over the past few days, I don't know if this is the media, trying to get some clicks and interactions with, Barca fans who are desperate for it, but it is coming in from reputable sources. Candacer came out saying that Barcelona is indeed looking for a goalkeeper this summer. Ben Aid, Mundo Deportivo, he's like #1 source for quite some time now. Like, he's a top tier elite source saying that Barcelona are seriously considering signing a goalkeeper this summer. And also Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona are among the clubs following Joan Garcia, although there is no serious movement yet. If Espanyol are relegated, his release clause will be 15. That is also a huge thing, so keep your eyes on La Liga action this summer. If Espanyol, I think they played Las Palmas, I think they need to win, and if they draw, L based on other results, but it's not really in their hands. It is in their hands. If they win, they will stay up, but if they lose a draw, it will depend on stuff elsewhere. 15 million for Joao Garcia might be well and truly the steal of the century. Now, Luis Rojo from Marc came out saying that Joao Garcia has been rumored for some time now. It is true that there has been some contact with his entourage, but Barcelona would only pursue his signing if Szczesny does not stay, and that is the clear consensus. Again, the only way we sign a goalkeeper this summer is if Szczesny decides not to renew his contract. And again, a renewal offer is already on the table, so the club want to do it. If the club could pick, they would go for Szczesny and Ter Stegen next season, 100%. Our hope and saving grace on signing a goalkeeper lies in Szczesny not renewing his contract. We also had some little bit of links with Dibu, Emiliano, Martinez from Argentina, saying that Barcelona have made an offer for Dibu, and United also have sent a proposal to the player. It's quite evident now that Aston Villa will be forced to sell in the summer to comply with FFP regulations in the Premier League. I think last summer they sold Douglas Luiz, and this summer they had to sell a big player, and they've chosen that to be Dibu. I think for the price that he's going for is a bit too much, but of course, world-class goalkeeper. I would take him in a heartbeat. Age is not really on his side compared to Joao Garcia, but if it's him or nothing, he'd definitely be like in my top 5 choices, but I would say I have Joao Garcia ahead of him as of right now. So wait and see. Again, we'll talk about the future of the goalkeeper still, but the only way we sign someone is if a goalkeeper currently departs. Right now, the most likely goalkeeper option, that signing that we do make in case we do it, is Joao Garcia. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to be leaving Barcelona over the past 48 hours. Not really rumors here to start off with. I want to talk about the situation right now of the goalkeeper department, following, of course, the links of signing a goalkeeper. Firstly, on Ter Stegen, AES is still going on with this. I think this is not true, but they keep saying that Barcelona have doubts about Ter Stegen continuing due to his decline in recent years. There is now a thought of signing a goalkeeper, especially if the goal is to compete strongly in the Champions League. Again, that's just like a random report, but Ben Aid came out with something very, very interesting, saying that Ter Stegen is aware of the fans' displeasure, but he's still considering to continue. And I'm absolutely baffled by that. Also, Luis Rojo came out saying that Barcelona are interested again in Joao Garcia, and if Szczesny doesn't renew his contract, they will go and sign a goalkeeper, like I already mentioned there. But I just wanted to, reiterate that and make a reminder. You can see my caption there at the bottom. It says Ter Stegen and Szczesny's futures in their own hands. It literally is. The club will not get rid of Ter Stegen. They will only let go of him if he asks to leave. That is plain and simple. Szczesny, the club want to keep him. He will only leave if he wants to leave himself. We are relying on these two to walk for the greater good of the club. To be honest, I would love to have Szczesny and Joao Garcia, Szczesny and Dibu, but not Szczesny. Ter Stegen is the main issue. Look, I love Marc. He's definitely top 2 greatest goalkeepers in our history. There's no shying away from that. But his decline over the past, since he won the Zamora Trophy with Xavi in that double season, has been astonishing. He is just not cut for it. If I was him, what I would do is tell the club to sign a goalkeeper that I'm going to walk at the end of the season, and this will be my last year. That way, at least Szczesny knows that, okay, he's going to walk. Let's bring in another goalkeeper to, learn under Ter Stegen, and I'll walk. I had my good 6 months at Barcelona. I won the domestic treble. I'll leave as a hero and as an icon for Barcelona, like in the category of Aubameyang, Adama Traore, Luke de Jong, those kind of players. That's what we really rely upon at this point. I feel like Szczesny might walk because he's a man of the people, and he will definitely see all the reaction and rumors, and that the club and the fans do want to sign a goalkeeper. They don't really trust Ter Stegen. Again, Ter Stegen is clear and is aware of the fan displeasure. If I'm a Barcelona, goalkeeper right now, first team captain, by the way, this is something we cannot ignore. He is the captain of the team, so it's even harder for that sense. for him to leave. If I'm there, I'm thinking the fans want me to leave. They don't think I'm good enough. I'm letting in crap goals, 4 goals in 2 games, 1 win or 1 loss. They're right. The evidence is as clear as day. But wait and see how Stegen does in the Nation Leagues. Julian Nagelsmann, the German national team manager, did confirm that he will be the starting goalkeeper in that big semi-final against Portugal. So we'll see on that. A mistake in that game, I think there's no turn. I think he doesn't survive. I think if he puts in a good performance or a mediocre, and just survives without a mistake, maybe some things can change. But if he drops a stinker in that game, I think this fan base is going to explode. I think a solid 60% of the fan base not hate Ter Stegen, but want him gone by any means necessary. I'm in that category where I think he should definitely walk, and that, for the great good of the club, he needs to know that his time is up. But my God, if a stinker in that game, he will be cooked online. So we'll see what happens. Again, like I mentioned, the future of the goalkeeping department relies and depends on the 2 goalkeepers right now making a decision on their futures. Now, one player who Barcelona have been desperate to get rid of over the past few years, and looks like this summer might be the saving grace, is Clement Lenglet. The president of Atletico Madrid spoke on the future of Lenglet in the media, and he came out saying that Lenglet is a Barca player. We will talk with them, and I imagine an agreement will be reached for him to continue his career with us at Atletico Madrid. Again, the variations of that: open season, it could be another loan, contract termination, a sale with no fee. Absolutely everything's on the table with what he's saying. But the most important thing is that he says he wants and believes that Clement Lenglet will stay. That's all I need to hear. Barcelona cannot mess this up. Get rid of him and save his salary. That is the priority. At this point, transfer fee would be cool, would be nice. Don't risk it. Don't risk the negotiations, turning against stuff. Save his salary for the next 2 or 3 years, wherever his contract is, and get him off the books. That is the main priority. So we'll see. I'm optimistic it will happen. I'm very, very confident that Lenglet will go to Atletico Madrid on a permanent basis, or maybe again, the conditions, the terms, and the variables, very, very unpredictable, very unseen, but him continuing in Madrid is likely. Now, a player's future at the moment that is currently in the air is the future of Pau Victor. He came out speaking with Mundo Deportivo saying that I haven't thought about my future. I'm focused on finishing the season. Then we will talk to the club with our representatives and we will reach a decision that we have to reach, but we have not yet thought of anything. So again, the positive thing in this statement for me is that it looks like he's very open, saying like, look, I haven't thought about it yet. We're focused on finishing the season, then we'll go and talk. So with him saying then we'll go and talk means that there is something to talk about, which means that I think that the best thing for him is to leave, of course. He got little to no minutes this season. I think I wouldn't say he played a accumulation of more than like 7 or 9 games in terms of actual minutes. Maybe it appears he's a bit high because he came off the bench like for 2 minutes so many times, but he had a good preseason. He had his chance, didn't take it in the end. Maybe Flick didn't give it to him. You can definitely argue that, but I think he's a good player that needs somewhere to grow and nourish. Again, he's on the older side as well. It's not like he's super young, like 18 or 19. I think he's like 22, 23. Let me actually check super duper quickly because he was at Barca Athletic last season. I remember he was like one of the older players. Yeah, he's 23. He's turning 24 this year. Bruh, get him gone. Get him gone. So we'll see with Pau Victor. But again, a sale or an exit, I should say, is very likely. Now, of course, Barcelona had made a sale recently due to a release clause being activated of one of our loan players, and that is Alex Valle. Gigantes have come out saying that Alex Valle's transfer to Como is on the go. Como will pay €6 million, structured as a 4+2 deal, 4 upfront, 2 in add-ons. Although there is no purchase option in the loan deal that was signed on January 31st, the fullback has impressed Cesc Fabregas enough to secure the moves. They will activate the release clause at €6 million, which of course will be divided into a upfront fee with variable. Again, it's already confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, I think a month ago now. So again, I rate Alex Valle. I think he's a good player. I think he'll definitely grow in City A. We could maybe see him back at Barcelona in the future for sure. Money coming in, maybe not the greatest. I would say I think 10 million for him would have been a super fair deal for us, but that release clause of course was already set from before. Flick didn't fancy him, so had to get rid of him, and getting some money up front as well, always a big bonus. Now, along with players that we want to get rid of, there are also players at the club that we do want to keep that are attracting interest, and that of course could persuade them in leaving. One of those is Ferran Torres. Fernando Polo Deportivo came out saying that Ferran Torres is appreciated by Unai Emery and Monchi at Aston Villa. The Birmingham Mail speak of speculation that Villa may offer around €50 million for Ferran. However, it is unlikely that he'll leave, and he has a contract until 2027, which pretty much means that this summer you can get peak value for him while his contract runs down. Graham Bailey, by the way, number one source I would say in the Midlands, in the UK, mainly around Aston Villa and Liverpool. Huge number one source there. He came out saying that Unai Emery and also Mikel Arteta are huge admirers of Ferran Torres, who has just 2 years left on his Barcelona contract. Look, Ryan had a good season. He had 3 stinkers. Let's not beat around the bush. His last 3 seasons were absolute stinkers. He had 1 good season off the bench where he finally accepted his role and grew into it, and also played as a striker. Never played on the left or on the right. We paid, I think, 55. So getting 50 would be immense. After what? 2.5 years? 3.5 years of Ferran. Getting, basically all your money back is crazy. And I would do it. I think the club won't. The club are very, reactionary and heavily on recency bias. Like, oh, Ferran had, 18 goals, 7 assists. He had more goals and assists than Vinicius last season. He's so good. Let's not beat around the bush here. 50 million for Ferran, I personally would take it. I don't think the club will. I think the club will want to keep him, or even try and maybe renew his contract as well. So, not too surprised about that. But we'll see. Maybe a tempting offer. We could maybe see a sale for Ferran Torres, which I would definitely be in favor for this price specifically. Now, some news that I was very surprised with, but also very pleased with, is the future of Hector Fort. It's quite clear that one of Barcelona's priorities this summer is to reinforce and maybe reshuffle a little bit the fullback position. And as of right now, Gigantes have come out saying that Hector Fort has been guaranteed confidence from the club and the coach on him. He's been informed that Flick is counting on him next season, and the general idea is for him to stay at the club. Gabriel Salzman Deportivo confirmed this as well, but also mentioned that PSV Eindhoven, the Dutch champions, have shown interest in signing him in the event he does leave or wants to leave, whatever the case may be. I'm actually very pleased about this, but the first thing that when I saw something that came up, and I said to myself, if Flick feels that way about Fort, why didn't he play him more this season? If you rate him, think he's a good talent, has potential, but blah, 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 why did you play him more this season? Is it because Koundé's just insanely fit and you just have to rinse him? I rate Hector Fort. I think he's probably one of the best, if not the best, fullbacks we have produced from La Masia in a while. Probably since Balde, but past Balde, it's been a hot minute. I do rate Hector Fort highly, both off the right and off the left, maybe more so off the left since in that Xavi season. So I'm very happy with keeping him, but it does raise some question marks about what we're going to do in the fullback position. Of course, we have Koundé, Hector Fort for right hand side, Gerard Martin for Balde, and Balde on the left. So it does raise a bit of question marks into, okay, if we're going to sign someone, what are we going to do? Shift Koundé back in the middle? We're going to, bin Gerard Martin? What's going to be the scenario there? But the fact that the club have shown confidence and Flick as well in Hector Fort, I think is a positive thing, because I do personally rate the player, but also an interesting decision for Barcelona to make it this quickly in the summer as well. So what you see, again, subject to change. You never know, things in the transfer market, things can, change rapidly so many times. But as of right now, the plan for Barcelona, for Flick, the club, and Hector Fort himself is for the player to continue next season. Now, another fullback that will continue at Barcelona next season, the club do bet on him hugely. It is Jofre Torrents, the left back from Barca Athletic, that has high ranking and high stature at the club. Of course, recently renewed his contract as well. Tony Juan Marc has come out saying that given Jofre Torrents' progress, it's unlikely that Deco will make a major investment in the left back position. Following this, Fernando Polo came out saying that the current plan for Jofre Torrents is for him to join the first team for preseason, including the tour in South Korea and Japan, allowing Hansi to watch him closely. The club will also start a strength program to build his muscle like they did with Lamine Yamal and Pau Victor, and Barcelona has very high hopes for Jofre, so much so that within the club sport department, they consider him on the same level of quality in terms of talent as Pau Victor and Lamine Yamal. Now, when I saw this, my first instinct is, we're not going to sign a fullback this summer, are we? Because you're already going to keep Hector Fort. You're going to keep Koundé and Balde, obviously. So either Jofre Torrents is going to spend the season with Barca Athletic, or we're going to bin Gerard Martin, and then he's just going to be promoted up as the backup for Alejandro Balde. The club cannot dodge the fact that a fullback signing is a must. It is an absolute must. Our fullbacks are too weak to rely upon for a full season. Jofre Torrents and Hector Fort are fantastic talents, but someone needs to be signed. What I would do personally, Fort and Koundé at right back, Balde, new signing at left back. I'd bin Gerard Martin. I'd keep Jofre Torrents. But what I would do is I would shift Hector Fort to the left-hand side, have Balde and Hector Fort. I would send a right back. I would send a right back that's mainly a right back, but could also do a job at left back, again, like the Cancelo mold. That for me is the pitch perfect plan for Barcelona to execute. And again, based on the report so far, Hector Fort staying, Jofre Torrents being given a huge, role, huge belief in him, that could be a possibility. I think Joan Martin has convinced Flick though, so that's why I'm thinking, okay, if Flick likes Martin, he likes Fort, he likes Koundé, he likes Valle, the fuck are we gonna do in the Valle position? We need a signing in that position. I do with Jofre Torrents from what I've seen from the clips in the 3 Barca Athletic games I've watched this season. Good talent. Wait and see. He could be that big star in preseason. You look at the last few seasons. Last season's preseason star was Pau Victor. Didn't turn out well. Season before that was Fermin Lopez. Season before that was, I want to say, Balde. Maybe Gavi. No, I think Gavi was the season before that. So every preseason is always a youngster that breaks through and makes his name in the first team, and that could be the case for Jofre Torrents this summer. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, on the contract renewal of Hansi Flick and Raphinha that have both been made official by the club over the past 48 hours. First up was Flick. 1-year extension until 2027. No surprise there. End of the season, we already knew this as well. So nothing here. And hopefully the Gaffa leads us to huge success next season. The next renewal, which wasn't a surprise as well, was the renewal of Raphinha. But it was only a 1-year extension until 2028. We thought it was going to be a 2-year deal, maybe 3-year deal to 2029 or 2030, but only given a 1-year deal. We don't know why. We don't know the details behind that. There is definitely a little bit of a pay increase. You can see Raphinha, they're very happy with his 1-year renewal, which Juan Laporta does. I think I'd do the same thing with Flick, maybe go with Raphinha year by year. Again, he had an absolutely crazy season. He's probably most likely probably going to be dipping next season. How big will that dip be? He went from, 60 G8. Will he go down to maybe 50? Will he go down to 40? Or go back to the 20 G8 that we saw in his first 2 seasons? That is, of course, the big question mark. So I understand. Don't mind it per se. Just a bit odd that we were talking 2-3 years for, months now. And then last second, it goes to a 1-year deal. But both of, these two, Flick and Rafa, have committed their Barcelona futures imminently for the short term. And we can wait and see what they do in the future. But they have been locked down now for a little while to hopefully bring some success to this football club. The next contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Frenkie de Jong. Of course, I covered it in the last video about Joan Laporta saying that his priority right now is to renew the contracts of Raphinha and Frenkie. Raphinha's is done, which means that Frenkie de Jong is up next. Early reports are suggesting that Frenkie de Jong's camp believes the renewal is nearly completed, with only a few details left to be finalized. Flick is pleased with his performances and considers him a key player in the team. Also, kind of came out saying that Frenkie de Jong wants to stay at Barcelona and is ready to take a salary reduction if necessary. His message to the club is very clear: I want to stay, and if staying requires renewing with the lowest salary, I'm ready for that too. We've heard this report so many times. Oh, this X, Y, and Z player wants to lower their salary and help the club. Again, we'll wait and see on that. But the most important thing is that it is getting close. It's been a renewal that Barcelona have been working on now for almost 2 years, since, of course, the Napoli game in the Europa League, in the Champions League, which was last year, before that as well. So almost coming up to a year and a half, 2 years. We've been working on this Frenkie de Jong renewal some way, somehow. He's been ignoring us for about a year, but we'll see the movements coming up very shortly. But hopefully we can get him tied down to a brand new deal as quickly and as effectively as possible. The next contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Marc Bernal. Again, renewed just after his ACL injury, but the club do want to even improve his contract already. He kind of just came out saying that Marc Bernal will remain at Barcelona until 2029, with the deal set to be made official when he turns 18 on May 26th, and his release cost was already announced in September to be 500 million euros. So again, the club are already monitoring his condition. He's going to be like a new signing next season. We saw how good he was in preseason in the first 3 games as well. Dropped a great performance in the game where he unfortunately suffered that ACL injury. But he's going to be coming back. He'll be fully fit, ready to go for preseason, and he's going to be an absolute monster in that midfield and essentially a brand new signing for the club. The next and final contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Lamine Yamal. There was a big meeting yesterday between Jorge Mendes and Lamine Yamal in the city of Barcelona to, of course, discuss and agree upon his future. Fernando Polo from Mundo Deportivo before the meeting came out saying that Barcelona don't want to wait until Lamine Yamal turns 18 on July 13th to have the new contract officially signed. The goal is to close everything by this Monday before he leaves for vacation. Barcelona are acting fast to prevent the Nation League from boosting his global performance and profile even more, allowing clubs to lure him with massive offers unless his renewal is already signed. So the club want to get his name tied down to a contract as quickly and as effectively as possible, because they feel like that clubs this summer might come in for him, make some huge offers for him, especially in the Nations League. If he does perform well and win it, his PR is going to be through the roof. Now, Jorge Mendes, after that meeting with Lamine Yamal, came out saying that, of course, Lamine will renew. There won't be any problems. We will do it soon, and he's going to be the best player in the world. And again, Jorge Mendes, for about, I would say, 8 months now, has kept on saying and kept on insisting, Lamine will renew, nothing to worry about. So I have not a worry bone in my body, and neither do Barcelona, because they're already planning to have Lamine Yamal in the squad next season, because he is getting the number 10 on his birthday on July 13th. Not only will they announce his renewal with the club, they will also announce that he will be the club's new number 10. At this point, they're just going to take it off of Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati, again, most likely will leave, but if Ansu Fati does stay, they've had enough. They're going to take it off him anyways and give it to Lamine. So an 18th birthday to remember. Memorabilia on Twitter also confirmed that he will have a €1 billion release clause, so we'll wait and see on that confirmation. But July 13th, bookmark it. It's going to be a big day. Lamine Yamal's birthday, renewal for him as well, a brand new contract with, being a top 4 or top 5 highest paid player at the club. And also they will announce in that renewal he will be wearing the number 10 next season. Let's now discuss some of the news starting in Barcelona over the past 48 hours, with the final game of the season coming up this Sunday. The club and probably the players as well already have the mindset of being in pre-season mode after, of course, their vacations. Rossadero Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona's preseason tour outline is as follows. They'll start off with probably a friendly game in Morocco, then go to Japan on July 24th to play Vissel Kobe on the 27th of July. Then after that, they'll play South Korea. They'll go to South Korea and play FC Seoul on the 31st. And they'll fly from South Korea to Barcelona to play the Joan Gamper on August the 9th. So we are expecting 3 preseason games, plus of course Joan Gamper as well, which is standard. I think we usually do 3 games in America and then play the Joan Gamper. So you're getting 3 to 4 preseason games. There'll probably be a friendly preseason game behind closed door that usually happens as well. The lines will be late. They'll say who scored and who played well, so that can be expected as well. But 4 games, Morocco being one, we don't know the date or the opponent. Japan against Vissel Kobe, July 27th. FC Seoul in South Korea on July 31st. And then Barcelona for the Joan Gamper. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss for an end of this video has come as quite a surprise. I did not see this coming, but Barcelona adding a new member to the management board. According to Fabrizio Romano, Barcelona are planning to add Tim Steidten, former West Ham director, to Barcelona's management board. British, German, and Saudi clubs are also interested, but Deco has a very good relationship with him since the Tapsoba transfer to Leverkusen. Of course, at the time, he's with Leverkusen, and at the time, Deco was Tapsoba's agent. Steidten was responsible for the transfers of Wirtz, Frimpong, Kudos, and so much more. He's in talks with Barcelona right now after terminating his contract with West Ham in January. So Tim Steidten will probably most likely be working alongside Bojan and Deco for, recruitments, renewals, and everything, squad recruitment and signing and renewal wise, which would be a nice addition and a quite surprising addition as well. I thought the team was kind of, confirmed and compact already, but adding new fresh blood and new insight as well. A guy who clearly knows football talent, what he done with Bayern Leverkusen, what he did with West Ham as well. So I'm open to it, but wait and see on the details, the conditions, and when he joins. Will he join at the end of this summer, the beginning of this summer? How long he'll be? The club will probably announce his specific role as well, so I'll keep you posted on that. But another member to add to the board, which only means that more movements and more things to come. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well, let me know your thoughts on everything we did discuss. Main thing on our firstly, of course, is on Luis Diaz being the #1 priority. Your thoughts on that, the price, the player profile, the player's ability as well. Secondly, your thoughts on the GK position. What would you do? Would you hope that Ter Stegen leaves? Would you keep Szczesny and sign a goalkeeper, keep Ter Stegen, sign a new goalkeeper, or just keep Tech and Marc for next season? Thirdly, your thoughts on those renewals coming up ahead in terms of Frenkie de Jong and Lamine Yamal getting the number 10 next season, and also your thoughts as well on Tim Steidten being added to Barcelona's management board. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and and Forza Barca.
Go,